And this is actually genius by John Williams. He take in the prequels, that softer version of Imperial March. You hear that over various points in the prequel trilogy when relating to Anakin. So it kind of associates that softer sound with Anakin, so that if you watch it in order, you then hear the softer version relating to Anakin, and then the more traditional Imperial March when he's Darth Vader. And then when you hear that softer version again, when he's like come back to the light and he's become Anakin again, it kind of makes that scene hit a bit harder.
I really recommend anyone that's interested in those kind of musical cues, look up the Imperial March in major key. A lot of different musicians have, because the Imperial March, what gives it its authoritarian, marching sound is that it's in a minor key, and that makes it very, off-putting. You put it into a major key and it sounds happy, like, hey, it's a parade. Playing around with major and minor keys definitely changes the mood of a piece of music, and John Williams was a master of that. He knew what he was doing.
Trooper, that is not a dog. I have 2 cats running around in my room right now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that'll be what the bell is. Yeah, yes, hello, Casper. Why are you staring at me?
Because it's what they do.
Yes.
But
I have 1 cat on the windowsill and 1 by the door.
But the other important thing that has been so sadly lost in Lucasfilm today is this understanding of redemption. That concept of redemption doesn't even exist in our culture anymore, where this whole cancel culture is, you thought something bad, you deserve to die. And I mean that literally. I mean, people.
Yeah, and we're going to harass you continuously. And then when you're dead, we're going to disgrace.
You're going to discredit your memory. We're going to erase you from history. You don't deserve to have a job. You don't deserve to have health care. You deserve to die because you don't think the way we do. And, it's the exact opposite of what Luke was doing. When he goes to Vader and says, I sense the conflict, he did not give up on Anakin. Everyone else gave up on Anakin. Obi-Wan gave up on Anakin. Anakin even knew it. He's like, Obi-Wan thought as you do. He's like, well, he was right. He shouldn't have given up thinking that way, And then what's the last thing he says? You were right, Luke. Tell your sister you were right. Yeah. Even he realizes, he wasn't as bad as everyone was telling him he was. Luke held out hope. Luke represented hope.
Yeah.
Also,
I feel like it goes without saying, but on this this video with the prequels secretly written, it goes without saying, don't harass the guy for not outright saying the prequels are good. If he wants to hide behind the prequels being bad, or like that internet perception, if he wants to if he doesn't want to incur the wrath of those people and he wants to secretly subtly say they're good, don't harass him for that. Just, if you are going to criticize him, at least be civil about it.
Well, and that's my biggest problem. I think we've lost any sense of subtlety, right? I mean, you look at what the administration in our country is doing right now. Look at what the movements in Hollywood are doing to our favorite franchises. These are not subtle people. They are playing their hands very obviously, and this is what's causing people to react against it. That's our only saving grace, is that they're not being subtle. So we need to be subtle.
It's like with the critical drinker. I don't agree with everything he says in his videos. I do enjoy watching them, but I don't outright insult him or say bad stuff about him because I disagree with some things he says.
I'll tell you, Critical Drinker has a brilliant way of being subtle, even though it doesn't seem that way. I
Yeah.
think he says some things he doesn't always 100% believe himself because it's funny and it's part of his shtick, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and even if you disagree with him, he says it in such a funny way. You're like, yeah, I don't agree with him, but man, that was funny, you know?
Yeah. Also, there's another thing relating to that that I noticed. Have you ever watched any of the Channel Awesome videos, like by the different producers there?
I
Just
don't
to
think
kind of
so.
clarify. Wait, can
No,
you say that again?
I don't think so. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay, there are a bunch of internet, well, not all internet reviewers, but they're like mostly internet reviewers. You know, like Nostalgia Critic and Angry Joe and a couple other people. And a while ago, or a couple of years ago, the channel Awesome itself
Mm-hmm.
came under threat of like well, not threat, but like there was this big divide going on between them, where
Mm-hmm.
some producers left that channel and some stayed, and it was all because behind the scenes there was all kinds of abuse and stuff like that.
Mm.
And the company itself, they were like, they haven't, or they wouldn't, and they haven't um come out with any kind of like admitted to any wrongdoings and then apologized to the people involved. They
Mm-hmm.
haven't done that. They've sort of skirted around the issue and just waited for it to pass. And I'm just thinking, yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They should have admitted the wrongdoings, not necessarily the company as a whole, but some of the people within the company.
Yeah.
And they also shouldn't have just waited for it to pass. So like, so obviously they're in the wrong there, but at the same time, that doesn't mean everyone on like or as Wolfton Media is saying with the change the channel, they're the people who are like on the change the channel side, they're the people who left Channel Awesome because of all this. But the thing is, to change the channel, they aren't much better because
Right.
they just send blind hatred towards Channel Awesome for literally everything they do, even though some of the stuff Channel Awesome is doing has no relation to any of the unpleasantness.
And
Like some of
then
the
it
Channel Awesome
becomes
producers just make videos or just go out for dinner, and then the channel people start like harassing them and hurling shit at them for it, even though all they're doing is
and now
sitting
it's
down
no
and having
longer
dinner.
about what the channels are about. Now it's just hating each other, you know?
Yeah, and like I feel like it's got to like this whole the channel awesome versus change the channel, like that whole situation. I feel it's gotten to a point where even if channel awesome do admit to their mistakes and apologize for everyone involved, I feel like it's not really going to satisfy everyone on the change the
No, because they've
channel.
already whipped it up too much. They've created their factions that are now, not going
Yeah,
to change.
yeah. I mean, even the people on the change the channel side, they have even said that if you still watch the videos made by Channel Awesome or like any of the people who are still on that side, if you like watch their videos or something like that, then you're just as bad as they are and just shouldn't watch the videos by the people on the change the channel side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking, well, if you're going to be like that, then you don't have my view anymore. I'm just going to watch what I want to watch or what I find entertaining.
Yep.
Oh, hello, Casper. Do you mind not sitting on my DVD player?
I sit where it's warm.
Even though that's not even turned on. I think it's just because it's elevated from in an
Oh,
elevated position. It
there you
might
go.
also be because I'm not exactly in a position where he can sit on my lap, and he seems to like doing that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, how
But
quick is
yeah, I mean that's what's become a fandom these days, and I've seen it. I've seen it in our own
yeah,
community, and it just bothers me because people are really putting their identity politics in front of actual people. They're putting their channel identity before actual people, and I'm sorry, I can't abide that anymore. You know.
yeah,
You said something I don't like. I'm banning you. Oh, really? You're banning the person who was a member of your channel, who was giving you money every month, who was, throwing money at you for super chats, that was co-hosting on your channel, that was, sending you gifts at Christmas and your birthday. Fine,
and was
fuck
just
you.
generally a nice person.
Yeah. So
Other
fine,
than
fuck
any
you,
negative
because I
thing you
didn't
had.
agree with you on one of your videos.
I just noticed your name. I don't know why it took me so long.
Troy gone for gin. Which I haven't. I don't drink early in the morning,
Yeah.
Boy, I'm definitely not drinking this weekend, not after Friday.
I'm sure you're aware of which drink I put my vote to.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it was how I was leaning anyway. But I don't know if you were you there for last night's rewatch on UHF?
No, I
Okay,
wasn't.
so at the beginning of the stream, I kind of explained, mostly for Boomer's sake, because he was there. I was like, it was a comedy of errors. I uh, I had decided weeks ago that I'm not drinking cheap booze anymore. If I'm going to drink, I'm going to drink the good stuff. We're only talking about the difference of $5 or $10. So, I deserve it. So I got Jameson's, and I was amazed at how smooth it was. So I ended up drinking it a lot faster than I really should have, because with the cheap stuff you got that kind of moment, and there was none of that with the Jameson. So there was that. And then Nanette pointed out too that I ate dinner very early that night and then took a nap before the stream.
Yeah.
So when I got up and started drinking, I was effectively on an empty stomach too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, critical error. And that's why it went the way it did. So, and I'll be honest with you, my stomach's still a little queasy. So
You could say a critical drinking error.
a critical drinking error. Yeah. Although it's funny, because I was thinking that the next day, I'm like, the critical drinker wouldn't have made this mistake. He's more experienced than I am. But I think, just like with me, it's a shtick. Usually when I'm drinking on a Friday night, I'm not drinking near as much as people think I am. Last Friday was a mistake. Yeah. That was an error on my part. Won't happen again.
Yep.
Won't happen again. But
oh yeah, we've got to talk about the another thing. Ian McDermott's performance as Emperor Palpatine, or Darth Sidious.
Oh yeah,
he clearly had fun with these movies.
Not only